Well, as you can see, the Zero was maintained out there both with the compact and the ultra compact design of the Bushnell RXU optics. Now, if you've done anything in the outdoor world, whether it's hunting, camping, or fishing, you've probably heard of the name Bushnell. So they make pretty much everything from red dots to scopes to hunting, camping, fishing gear, all that stuff, because they brand and make just a ton of different gear out there. In fact, if you're anything like me, the first scope I was ever actually able to afford, put on a hunting rifle when I was a kid, was a very old Bushnell Elite Trophy scope. So that was like years and years and years and years ago, but now they've given us a couple of really cool new red dots that we're gonna take a look at today. They're a very small form factor that come in 2 sizes for your optics ready pistol. These are both going to be the RX200 model, and like I said, you're gonna have 2 sizes. One is going to be the compact, and the next is going to be the ultra compact right there. So you can see there is quite a difference in size there. So you get the opportunity to run something super slick and smooth if you want ultra compact or kind of more standard for that compact. Well, let's get right into the specs on these RX200 Bushnell red dots here. And then we're gonna talk about the range footage, the cost, everything you're gonna want to know about these things. So both of these come factory ready to mount to your RMSC pattern slide. So if your slide is ready to roll, like a Glock 43 XMOS, SIG P365 optics ready, Mossberg MC2, MC2 S series, Smith & Wesson Shield, this is going to go right on there. But as you can see, I have the other one on a plate system on that AREX Delta Gen 2. So if you got a plate system, it's gonna work for that as long as you have the RMSC pattern. That's gonna be probably the biggest question when it comes to the footprint. Now, both of these are the compact style, something like an RMRCC or the RMSC. However, they've gone an additional level in the ultra compact, giving you probably the sleekest, smoothest, smallest design out there, while still maintaining a good viewable window that you can actually use on the range. You're gonna get a max of 50,000 hours out of both of these in kind of intermediately different commissions, whether it's indoor, outdoor, resting, in the safe. And they're gonna be auto adjusting. So that's gonna help you out, not having to really work the adjustments when you go from one light condition to the next. It will be a bottom mounted single 2032 battery on both models. The housing is made of 7075 T6 aluminum, so you know it's made for that hard use out there. And both of them will give you a 6 MOA dot. And I have to say, they've used a very nice high efficiency LED, giving you a super crisp and clear dot in both of these. The glass is fully multi-coated and it is extremely clear. Waterproofing wise, that is important, especially if you live in a wet state. IPX7, basically what that means is 1 meter deep, 30 minutes. So should you be out there fly fishing in the river and you drop your pistol, you got 30 minutes to find it and get it out. Both have a snag-free design. They're very smoothed off. There's no buttons on the exterior because they are full auto. And any kind of 90-degree angle just seems to have been chamfered or smoothed out very nicely, making them very well suited for concealed carry. Now, there is included sight valley in the rear, so your standard height sights are going to be usable as long as it's a direct mount to slide. Now, if you use a plate system, it might be a little bit higher, but that's going to depend on the plate system your pistol runs. Milled slide, you're going to be good to go. That glass on there, like I said, is multi-coated, but it also gives you Bushnell's exo barrier, and that's gonna help keep this thing clean, dry, and fog-free. So especially in the wintertime out there, you draw your pistol, it's much warmer next to your body than the air is out there, and it might be moisture in the air, and you can get some fogging. This is going to help stop that. And for durability, this is rated to military standard 810 impact and vibration, basically meaning it is tough stuff. Now, the smaller optic, when it comes to the height, you're gonna have an 11 millimeter height, and the larger one will have a 15 millimeter height when it comes to that window. And you're gonna get that lifetime warranty from Bushnell, so if you ever do have a problem, you're probably just gonna get a brand new red dot. Now, I am sure you are all chomping at the bit to see just how these things performed out on the range. So let's move on into that. The first thing I noticed right away is that the glass on these things is exceptionally clear and the dot is extremely crisp. Now, someone having some eye issues like myself, that's not the normal. So very well done up front on the dot on the glass clarity. Now, when it comes to a new red dot for me, there are 3 really main things I am looking for, and that is going to be color distortion, magnification, and clarity of that dot. Now, if you don't know what I mean by those, a lot of times with red dots in general, especially miniature red dots or micro red dots like this, The glass has coatings on it, so you can see a really blue hue sometimes. Some companies use red, and that can be a little bit disruptive to your eye and to your aiming because it's, throwing your eye off a little bit from the natural colored environment around you. I will say the clarity of the glass on here is exceptionally clear. They've done a very nice job with whatever coatings they're using. I'm sure it's all proprietary, but well done there. Also, the magnification. So being that these are glass lenses, sometimes you can get a just minimal amount of magnification. It's almost impossible on something like this to not give some small amount of that. What I will say here is it is so minimal, you're not gonna notice it at all. Where in some other red dot optics, it's extremely noticeable that you have some minimal magnification going on. So again, nicely done there. Also, the clarity and crispness of that 6 MOA dot in there, whatever LED they're using in there, has a very clear and crisp reading on that glass. It is very circular, it doesn't bleed, it doesn't starburst, and it also has a really nice high efficiency rating to it. Now what that means is basically as you move that around, or if you grab your red dot and you hold it out in front of you and you start to move around a little bit, sometimes you'll appear that it's almost blinking or it's like a scattered dot and not solid. If you use a cheap LED emitter, that's what you're gonna get. Luckily, Bushnell has used a very nice one, so you're gonna get a much better look and view through that glass. You're not gonna get any blinking or distortion. Even if you're breathing heavy, moving around, moving from target to target, you're not gonna see any of that, which would appear to be blinking or a refresh rate or anything else like that. Let's talk a little bit about using these out on the range and the differences in the size. So as you can see, the standard compact version, much like an RMRCC or RMSC size. And then the ultra compact version is extremely small. So between the two, there is a difference out there. The standard compact, you bring it up right into the line of sight, super natural and very easy to use. Awesome, crisp, clear dot and glass, everything going on that you need it to. Now, I did notice when coming to the ultra compact design, it was just slightly different. So instead of seeing that dot a little bit higher up in the window, you almost had to go for your iron sights, and then it's right there. So it took me just a mag or two before I really made a little bit of a difference in how I was presenting that pistol. So rather than coming, a little bit lower into my eye line because it would be a taller optic, it's a little shorter, so you just had to come a little higher up, plan on seeing your iron sights, and then the dot is right there. So even though it is minimal, it's easy to carry, and once you get used to it out on the range, it's very nice and very snag-free when drawing this thing from concealment. Well, since these are both new, I decided to do a little bit of drop testing since they have that military vibration and impact rating on there. And people oftentimes ask for that. Now, although I'm very careful out on the range, most times things happen. I'm out there with friends, so things can get knocked off tables. We throw things get thrown on top of things, and that's just kind of the natural flow that I've used for optics testing before. But I really wanted to see, with these ratings and the newer optic that these are from Bushnell, if I could, throw these things around a little bit. So I did a few different things. I just threw them a few feet away into the bed of my pickup truck, which is metal. So there was some impact on metal. Then what I did is I threw them off the tailgate, dropped them off the tailgate, things like that, because that's the kind of thing that could happen at the range. Say somebody puts their bag up there, accidentally knocks your pistol off, pistol lands, hits the ground. Now I was out in the desert. The dirt is fairly hard out there. It's landing on a mixture of rocks and dirt. That's why I threw it onto the truck bed and the steel. Now, that gives a kind of a realistic idea of if you were to drop these things out there in the world, what they're gonna do. I will say nothing broke on them, so that is definitely a huge positive. But after that drop testing, I had to reconfirm zero, make sure everything was still on, nothing shifted, all that, with some just good old-fashioned headshots at about 10 yards. Well, as you can see, the Zero was maintained out there, both with the compact and the ultra compact design of the Bushnell RXU optics. So I did use the same target, but I was shooting at kind of different sections of it to give myself a little bit of room. But from 10 yards standing, doing headshots with a compact style pistol and a subcompact style pistol, I'll pretty much take that grouping any day of the week. We're at the point where we start talking cash money American. What are these gonna cost us from Bushnell here, whether it's the compact or ultra compact? They're both coming in at $199. So $199, 50,000 hours of battery life, survived some drop testing, really good LED, clear dot, clear glass, lifetime warranty, auto adjustments. That's not a bad price in the market today with inflation, everything else that's gone on. 199 bones for an optic that can do that is pretty solid. And quite honestly, I think I'm gonna leave these on both of these pistols as I shoot more and more rounds through these things, test more products for them. So I get the round count up, especially in the summertime, just to see how much more durability I can expect out of these new optics from Bushnell. That is what I've got for all of you today. Make sure you get subbed up down below and leave me a comment on what your thoughts are on these Bushnell red dots. It seems to be that red dot technology is just getting better and better, and in some cases, more and more affordable for all of us out there. You want to support the channel in any way, you can use any of those affiliate links down below. All that is a huge help because those are affiliate links. I get a small commission if you buy something. Doesn't cost you any more. The company's already factored those costs in, but say you want a red dot, you can buy a red dot. I get a small commission, helps the channel grow. And of course, you can always check out the Patreon. So huge support structure there. Thank you to all of them. I appreciate that stuff. Get out on the range, have some fun. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you all on the next one.